Saudi Arabia, whether you like it or not. So you have to include India, because all these countries have the potential to spoil you, to spoil an agreement. And you don't want to leave people outside the tent who have the potential to spoil an agreement. Because India has got its proxies in Afghanistan, just like other neighboring countries. So this is an argument which has been put forward, especially by the military, and it really has no basis in reality. India doesn't share a land border, so India is not part. Of course it is. India has got historic ties that, because of partition and all that. I mean, it's got historic ties with Afghanistan, it is now the 5th largest donor in Afghanistan. Do you think it's going to allow $1.3 billion to go down the tubes? Not at all. So I think you have to be generous. You have to be of generous heart, and you have to include all the players who would be either spoil your effort or spoil Afghan effort. So and so you have to include India. And perhaps Afghanistan could be a bridge towards building greater thing on Kashmir and other things and all the rest of it.
Let's have another question.
Yeah.
Where do we begin?
Sorry?
Which is the priority in your...
Well, the priority is obviously building Pakistan. I mean, I love the blasé way with which we're talking to Karzai, and there are these delegations coming and going. We don't control FATA. Most of the tribal areas we have no control over. We are negotiating a new government in Kabul from a position where even our own Pashtuns are not under our control. So what the hell are we talking about? Who do we think we are? The Afghans are laughing, sniggering behind their backs and saying, who are these Pakistanis? They don't even control the area that they want, that they're talking about. What is our solution for FATA? Do we have a political solution for FATA in the last 10 years? With all the money that's been thrown at it and everything else? It's very difficult now because there's an insurgency going on. But there should be a political FATA has to be brought into the constitution. It has to be made part of the, either part of the existing province or created a new province. It has to have the same rights as everyone. When are we going to do this? When are we going to stop using FATA as some kind of no man's land where all these groups can go and set up shop and murder each other and murder us also in the process? So, the question is, we start right here. We start, at home. We strengthen ourselves. We certainly, befriend the region. We don't isolate the region and tell the region that you have nothing to do with this. It's all our game,
I agree. I understand that. What I'm saying is within ourselves, within Pakistan, and I am considering, after listening to you, that we are considering Pakistan as the priority. Where do we begin? Should we start with... for example, settling our economic issues first to be able to then move on to other things? What is the priority?
Well, I think the priority very much is the economy, because what we might see in the next few weeks is hyperinflation. And I'm talking about inflation of over 50%. We are talking about a massive devaluation of the rupee, or perhaps 20 to 25%, literally in a matter of weeks, if not months. Because of the failure of this IMF deal going through, and the failure so far of us offering any kind of package in return of that. So, and that of course is going to lead to enormous unrest in the streets, and at the same time you've got international things that are happening. Food prices are going up internationally. 4 or 5 countries are under this IMF stabilization program, and they include European countries like Greece and Ireland. Perhaps tomorrow Portugal might come under this same program. We are also under this program. Now the IMF rightly says the Greeks are biting the bullet. They're increasing taxes. They're sacking people from useless jobs. The Irish are backing the bullet. Who are you? Why should we do you a favor and allow you to get off the hook, still give you the money, but you do nothing? So I think, there's a justification in the international community that, look, we've got these European countries who are all doing the right thing. And you refuse to raise taxes. Now, unfortunately, I think one of the things we should be doing, there should be some kind of more citizens movement that they should now, we all hate paying taxes, and we all know that we get very little in return for those taxes. Especially you who live in Karachi. What security do you get, or what rail facility do you get? Drinking water. What you probably get very few things. But nevertheless, we are in a state of crisis. And I think there should be a movement where we should, urge the government to raise revenues as fast as possible. And if the agriculturalists have to pay income tax for the first time, which they have refused, to do, if other parts of the elite have to pay, new taxes, or we have to be prepared for this.
Ahmed, thank you very much. We've come to the end of this session. Thank you very much, Ahmed, for being in conversation with us. It was a wonderful audience. Thank you very much.